Mr. Transporters 96 here with a video that I'm going to be discussing some of my cabinets, lights, and shelves of my collection. This is not a collection video, although I do believe I'm going to be doing one pretty soon here, within a month or so. But I did just, this past week, get lights for my collection, both for my main cabinets with my Hot Toys figures, as well as for my shelves with my regular figures. And, I thought possibly people would ask me where I got them, and whenever I do collection videos, I always get people that ask me about the large cabinets for sure as to where I got them. So I figured this video it was just a pretty kind of video where I'm going to be explaining where I got my stuff for anybody who wants to know or is curious to know. So I'm going to talk about my shelves for my regular collection, the Detolf cabinets, these larger cabinets, and then the lights that I use for them all. So kind of be talking about where I got them, and as far as the lights go, I'll talk about where I got them as well, but kind of how they work. So let's get started. Let's start off with the shelves real fast. Alright, so here's my regular figure collection. This is where I have all of my, kind of mostly Hasbro pieces, just the regular items that aren't, the high-end stuff. So all of this is actually in a closet, basically. Originally, this was just a closet in the room that had like two sliding doors on it. I removed the doors, and I had somebody put in 4 shelves. As you can see, scroll down a bit, you can see another shelf down there. 4 shelves in there, pretty simple, obviously it's just, there's a border under the shelves, there's a plain shelf that goes back, and then there's a border piece that's on top of that, just to make it look a bit nicer. The shelves themselves, they're decent amount long, but they're very deep. That's one thing that's a major difference from my last place that I came from, is that I had more shelves in my last place, however, they were about half as deep as this is. So these are very deep shelves, which means I can fit a lot in. So even though it's a small place, they're so deep, and the fact that it's flush to the wall, because it's obviously supposed to be a closet. So this is a really great place for a collection because it is because it doesn't take up any space in your actual room. I didn't put up like shelves that are on the wall. It's basically inside the wall because they were in a closet. And then here I have hooked up lights. Just last night I did this, and I'm very excited for it, and I will be showing you that when I discuss the lights real fast. Alright, now I'm going to move on to the cabinets though. Alright, so I have 2 different types of cabinets in this room. The one of them you're probably familiar with. It's the Detolf cabinet. Just about any Hot Toys or Sideshow or 1 in 6 scale collector has Detolf cabinets. They're almost like made perfectly for collecting toys. They're pretty high up. They have 4 little cube sections, and then each cube is about 14 to 15 inches high. So they're just perfect for any 1 in 6 scale items, which is pretty great. And they're also pretty inexpensive. They're sold at IKEA, which is obviously everywhere, and they're only about $70 a piece, which is actually a really good price for cabinets like this. And they're also glass all over. Like, they don't have any wood borders or anything like that to distract from the figure. They're just complete glass, which is very nice. So this is a piece that just everybody has. As far as the larger cabinets, I'll be talking about my lights here in a second, but the larger cabinets on the sides, these I haven't seen anybody else have, just me. I got them at American Home Furniture Warehouse, I believe is what it's called. I'm not quite sure how global they are or anything, but there was one, relatively close to my house. It's a massive place. It's like just huge place. They have a decent sized floor room, but then the majority of the thing is just all the stuff in the back. But it's a huge place. They had like a little section of display pieces, and over like 2 years or so, I've been looking for better cabinets other than just my Detolfs, so that I could display like all the Avengers together and things like that, and also like Falcon with his wings, because I wanted to display him inside a cabinet, but with having his wings and having them fully extended and the whole bit. So I did some research and looked at many stores and tried to find the best cabinets that had exactly what I wanted for the that were a decent price. These were $388 a piece, which is a lot. Obviously, much more than the detail cabinets. However, from my research, it was the best price I could find for the type of cabinet that I was looking for. So they're a pretty decent price for having a cabinet that's that type of size, and it's mainly all glass, and it's not like some brown wood. I wanted darker kind of black wood. So that's really what I was going for. Each of these cabinets do have lights put in them, like before I changed them. They had lights inside of them, but it was just... Sorry about that, my camera ran out of space, but what I was saying was that there were already lights in these cabinets before I changed out the lights, and they were just single bulb lights that were in the back top of the cabinets. There are like little functions on the side of these cabinets to turn them on just by touching this just kind of like piece of metal on the sides of the cabinets, and you can touch it multiple times to adjust the dimness, which was a cool feature. However, it didn't work really well. It was kind of a yellowish light, which I really didn't like, and it was in the back, so it really didn't get anything other than backlight the figures. So I never really used those lights, and I find them really not necessary. I didn't like them at all. So I did, when I was putting in these new lights, I had to remove that entire assembly in each of those, which can be done, but it was just a pain to do it for each cabinet. But so that's what I did to adjust the lights. So there's the information on the two types of cabinets that I have in my collection. Now let's talk about the lights. The lights that I used are the same in the cabinets as there are in the shelf area. So I'll show you at both places where I put them and how I put them in. Alright, so these lights, I have also seen other collectors have these, and I've always kind of been interested in them, but really haven't, done anything about it. I've looked at like Home Depot and Lowe's to find lights, and they had some, but they were quite expensive, and they weren't exactly what I was looking for. Finally, I did find on IKEA's website the type of lights that I thought that most collectors were using, and it is the same type that I've seen other collectors use. So I did go to the store and pick up a couple packs of them. They come in a little, just kind of package like this long, clear plastic package. They're Dodlers, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm not quite sure, but you get these 4 strips of light that are good, and then there's many wires and stuff that you can use to connect them. They're very nice. They provide a good amount of light, as well as they're extremely easy to install. There's 2 different ways you can install them. You can screw in a metal kind of holder into whatever you're going to put the light on, and then you can just snap the light in, or they just come with little pieces of double-sided kind of sticky almost like pieces of tape. They're pretty thick though, that you stick onto the light, and then you can stick that onto whatever you're going to put the light on. That's what I did, and it worked extremely easily. It feels very secure too, so we'll have to see. I mean, from what I've seen in other people's collections, that's how they install them as well, because I've seen them put it on glass, and it seems to hold very nicely. For me personally, like they don't even like wiggle or anything. They seem very tight, based on just the double-sided kind of sticky tape. So that's worked out really nicely, and it's made it very easy to install. And the formation in which I've put the lights on, you can kind of see it through the reflection of the glass background. It's that I have one strip that's towards the front, and all of these are on the roof of the cabinet, but one strip that's towards the front that's just kind of going the length of the cabinet themselves. And then I have another strip on the corners of those that are going back at a diagonal angle, which therefore helps light up the stuff in the back and things like that. So that's what I did for all 3 of my cabinets. I've lit them up the same type of way, and then there is just a hole in the back of the cabinet that I just run the wire through. The wire goes to the bottom of the cabinet, and I did get some extension cords and hook these all up to one outlet, which is attached to the light switch of the room. So what's really nice is I can just walk in my room, click my light switch, and all of my cabinets light up at the same time, which is awesome. It's much better than like getting like just the switch that you put like at the bottom of the cabinet and you have to switch them all on individually. I mean, that'll work of course, but it's just, I love the fact that I can switch them all on just within 2 seconds and all from one switch, which is great. So I would highly recommend, if you can do that, to try to hook them all up together. That would be very cool. So now let me show you how I connected these lights to my the actual shelves, and also these packs. I forgot to talk about it. They're from IKEA, I believe I mentioned that. But they're $20 for a pack, which comes with 4 strips and all of the wires and everything you need, which is actually a really good price. I mean, for lights, I've found strips like that at Home Depot and things, and they're much more expensive. So I think that is a tremendous price for those lights, actually. Alright, so I did put lights on all of the shelves like I've been saying, and I will give you a grand view of how this all looks when they're all lit up, but just so you can kind of see how it works, how I've hooked it up, is that I've put those little strips on the inside of this border right here. So there's a decent amount of room from when the bottom of this shelf starts. The border hangs down a little bit further, so I was able just to hook the strands just right onto the border. Originally I was going to put it on the roof, however I found when I was just kind of testing it out, seeing what lit it the best way, lighting it going out this way worked actually better than lighting down. So I did put it on the border, put it kind of close to the edge, just so that it would be as low as possible, and it hooks on very nicely there. And each of these has a very small bit of wire that's connecting towards the other one, and then they're all hooked up to a main wire on the side here. Now I just did this last night. I just hooked all this up, so I still haven't fully adjusted the way that I'm going to hide the wires. I do have a bit of a border trim, which I plan to really get them all flush to the side there. As of right now, though, some of the wire is hanging out, so my next project is just to make sure all of this wire stays very flush onto this border so that it's not visible, and also to get that higher up so that that's not hanging down. But that's what I did on every shelf, and I've put 3 of those strips on each shelf. Even though when you get a package you get 4 of them. So basically, to do all 4 shelves, I only needed to buy 3 packages, which was nice. So let me give you a grand view of how it all looks. Alright, so here it is with all the lights turned on, which just looks awesome. I have to say, like this shelf, as you saw from the beginning of this video, it's very dark when you just have the one main room light on. So to have all of the shelves now completely individually lit is very cool. It adds a ton of light, and it looks so cool. I love it now. I'm very happy with it, and I'm also super happy with how the lights are hidden. If you could see the lights, that would still be fine. However, I love the fact that you can't see the lights, that they're inside of the borders there. So if you could do something like that on your collection, I would highly recommend trying to hide the lights. I think that it just looks cooler, not quite knowing how it's all being lit, basically. It looks really awesome. I'm pretty happy with it, as you can tell. I've been wanting to hook up lights in this room for the longest time, and I just every now and then I'll kind of check on lights, but they're always more expensive than I want to spend, and I'm not 100% sure what I was looking for as far as what types of lights to get. So I am very happy to find these, as well as one very important thing that I was most looking for was the fact that they wouldn't get hot, and these lights do not get hot, which is great as well, and they can be left on for a while that way, which is nice. So really liking this. At the moment, I have to turn each of these shelves on individually. I have just all of again, I'm still working on my stuff here, so I've got just all of these wires just on the floor here, and I have to hit each of those switches, each of those 4 switches, to turn on each of those shelves. But eventually, or actually, I plan to do it probably tonight, is to get an extension cord, or not an extension cord, but one of those cords that has like multiple ports to it, so I can plug everything in just to one outlet, basically, so I can have just one switch that turns on the entire thing. So that's my plan at the moment. Overall, very happy with all of this. And also, one thing I did forget to mention that I did want to say quickly here is the fact that on these cabinets, so I've got some stuff on the top of this cabinet that I'm working on, there are multiple points to adjust the shelf size. That's obvious. That's an obvious thing, but just if you're wondering as to how close all of those little spots are, they're all very close. You have a lot of range as to where you can adjust them, and I adjust the shelves, relatively often, and it does come with 4 shelves, I think, or maybe 3, I don't know. I only use 2 shelves, and then the bottom of the cabinet is my last one, so I find that you can fit about 3 levels of figures, and that means tall figures as well. Like in this cabinet here, I have one level that has Ironmonger on it, one level that has Thanos on it, and one level that has Groot on it. So as you can see, you can fit 3 levels and fit tall figures on those levels too. So that is quite nice, just if you were wondering, for these cabinets. Alright, so there you go. That's my video just discussing my shelves, lights, and cabinets. To anybody who wants to know, I feel like this is going to be a good video. If people ask me in the future, I can just kind of direct them to this video so that they can get all the information here. And again, this is not like a collection video, although you've seen most of my collection now. I haven't gone in depth as to what's on each shelf and things like that. So I will be doing a collection update probably soon. If you want to see a collection update, let me know in the comments. That'll kind of help me know that I should try to get one out pretty soon. They take a long time to film and everything, so it makes me so I don't do them as often as I would like, but hopefully I'll get one out to you soon. So hope this was helpful if you were curious as to where I got my stuff and how I kind of used it basically. So there you go, that's my video. Thanks so much for watching.